So on the road, so the pledge of allegiance. Pledge of allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
So bless myself.
Yeah, I know. All right, now the minutes have been sent out eons ago, back right after the meeting of February 3rd. You did provide, printouts today. So I don't know if anybody's had a chance to look them over, make amendments, accept them, whatever. Give you a few minutes. You all set?
Looks good to me.
Are you making an amendment?
The weeks of minutes.
Okay, Lisa. Do we have a second?
Second.
Alrighty. Alrighty. Director's report.
All right, so we'll see how this rolls. Attached, you have the budget that I presented to the finance committee and the select board last week. We went through, they just asked me some general questions about raises, why I had asked to raise the amount of the meal program, and that Brandy has gone from 25 to 35 hours. She's now providing an additional meal per week, and she's also working with our programs director, coordinator on providing meals and food for some of the programs that we do, and with the cost of food going up. But I also, I'm peppering some things in from my report. We worked with facilities and we worked with the Board of Health to clear out a space in the basement, and then met with the Cisco rep. And now we can order more food, more non-perishable food. We have a place to store it, so we don't have to make daily trips to the market. So we'll be able, hopefully we'll get this additional funding, which we do, it will be great. But regardless, we are taking steps to sort of minimize the amount of money spent in trying to utilize what we have here in regards to storage and areas so that we can store food and Brandy can sort of do more.
What is the basement like down there? I've never gone hit
There's-
it.
I can take you on a tour. There's a lot of exposed pipes. I mean, it's kind of very beautiful. I mean, it's built with brick and stone, and the elevator room is like there's an archway inside that, and it's
But
sealed
My
off.
concern is, if you're putting
Oh,
food down
Well,
there.
that's why we had the Board of Health
moisture.
come. So the place that we are gonna do it is right outside the elevator. All the walls are sealed. It's a
Okay.
contained area. And we have the shelving that can go up, that can sort of be open shelving for anything that's canned, and closed shelving for anything that, might have like a paper wrapper to it. We can keep it locked up.
Okay.
So that will help Brandy sort of expand her kitchen.
Sure.
And she can expand her pantry, offer more, and save money. And then we also, as well, we stopped our coffee contract because we were getting a coffee machine for free, but we're spending like an exorbitant amount on coffee. But with Cisco, we are gonna buy their machine, which is pretty much 1 month of our coffee that we paid for, and then the coffee we get from them is like a quarter of the cost. So
That makes
just trying to save
Sure.
money where we
Sounds good.
can so we can go to other things. It's not.
Now, will they maintain that machine?
Yep, they'll do everything. And the
If- yeah.
Cisco rep is great. He stopped by a couple of times to check on things.
Mhm.
And so I think that's going to be a great relationship.
Yeah, excellent.
Miscellaneous expense, we asked for another 3,885. That was a recommendation from Deb, the previous director. The miscellaneous expense hadn't gone up in the last 3 years. And between paper costs and supply costs, stamps, just
Oh, yeah.
in general, things that we just need for the operation of the home. that money will come in handy. But again, if we can make do, but we're hoping that we get it.
Did they give you any hint? Yeah.
They were, I have to say, they asked me questions that I spoke about, that we're lucky to have the Clinton Home Foundation, that we have the Angels, that we've kept our revolving account healthy. But with everything has gone up in costs, and for me, the way I look at it, the difference in salary between my salary and the previous director kind of compensates
Right.
for everything that we want to do. So we're sort of the money that we're not spending on a salary really
Right.
we can put it towards these extras that we want for the line items, program expenses, miscellaneous, and utilities.
Excellent.
So for programs, we asked to go up again. We haven't gone up in programs, but as we know, the cost of buses, tickets, presenters, materials have all gone up, and we want to make sure that we can keep as much as we can at no cost or low cost for anything that we run. Then with utilities, that was Deb's suggestion to go up to 30,000, and I had let them know up until now we had spent almost 21,000 on utilities, so we only had about 5,000 left for the remainder of the year, which will be fine.
Mhm.
But next year, if the carriage house is up and running, we'll need that additional money to cover the carriage house.
And everything's going up, like you said.
Yes. And then the next page is the current expenses and what we have left, I guess, in our budget. The current balances of the building fund, the Clinton Home Foundation, the general fund, which is just the money that we put in that we get from the Worcester Transit Authority, what we have left in Grady's Groceries, the medical transport grant, the meal program. We are kind of at a negative for the meal program, but we do have extra money in miscellaneous and revolving. And so we're making it up through there.
Good. Looks pretty good.
And then, yeah.
Can, in the future, just for keep the foundation money separate as a separate line item?
What I can definitely do is this is a report that's run through Quicken. So
Okay,
I can sort of figure out either how to manipulate Quicken, and if not, I can just do a spreadsheet with
Yeah.
the money separate, because probably would want that once we talk about the carriage house.
right, yeah, keep it as a separate line item and
Right.
keep it away from operating
Yeah,
expenses.
because you take that out of the bottom line down
Right.
here.
Right.
And there's a significant difference.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Right, yeah, try to just keep it in the operating expenses.
Mhm.
Definitely.
Okay.
And then the last page is sort of a list of activities for April. I know Deb listed everything out, but if this works with the calendar and anything that is special coming up, I mean, the big
Yes.
thing is
Yeah.
Wild Women, we're doing a charcuterie board with Brandy, and she's really excited about
Mhm.
presenting that and,
Sounds good.
Yeah.
having an interactive
Mhm.
time, so that'll be good.
Is there any cost to that?
If we had hired someone to come in, yes.
Well, what about the food items?
I think we're doing, I don't think there's a cost.
There was no cost listed for.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's-
we're
so I
taking care of
can,
it.
I can go on to our site for,
Yeah.
and sign for,
Yeah,
yeah,
and register for the program,
perfect.
which is great, and her ideas that she's already started with are gonna be fantastic.
Great.
We do have, I just wanted to point out that on the 22nd, we have a lunch and learn with Integrity. Is that it? Yes. And they're providing, it has a dollar sign, but it's not, they're providing a free lunch. And they're gonna come and do a lunch and learn program.
Mhm.
So, which is great. Cole comes in, I believe, every Tuesday. And he's met with a lot of people, and he's just a super nice guy, so he's just gonna explain what it is that they do.
Okay.
And then a couple of things that I would like to vote on and get your input on. The Carriage House. We have been trying to sort of figure out what we have for money, move it through the process. And so from speaking with Mike Ward, currently with the money we received, $360,000 from a town warrant. we're down to 342 of that. 17,000 was used for architectural fees. We have 57,000 in ARPA money. That was part of something from Senator Cronin that we can add to it. We have 10,000 left from the all-in-one or Lemonster funding. And then there was an additional 80,000 that we were able to, it was there and we found all the paperwork. So another 80,000. So it comes up to 489,000. The bid originally started off, I believe, at 858. Revised, went down to 525, was revised again, went down to 483. And on Monday, Sherry and I met with the architects to walk through the space. And we're hoping that we have pulled some things out, but the functionality will be there, that if in the future we're endowed with money,
Mhm.
additional money, they can be put back in, but it won't take away from the functionality or the main use of what the building will be for, which is an exercise space.
What did they remove?
Well, the type of flooring, the flooring that was, hey Henry,
Yeah, and
the flooring that was suggested that would be put in had like a spring to it.
Yeah.
But it's about 39,000. And we're hoping that putting in the floor that's a laminate base, which you can still dance, and then you can purchase, it's interlocking sort of foam, because I've done it at 2 previous jobs, and then you can just put that out on top of the floor, because sort of with the spring floor, it might be you have to take your shoes off, and I know I don't like taking my shoes off, but this way the floor can be used. We can now rent it out if we want. We can use it as a space to bring in revenue. We also, the condensers and the splitters, and I want to say this right, I think they were putting in like 3 or 4, but we really only need 1 or 2. But they're going to still set up the work underneath that if we need to add the other 2, we can. So we're going to see what comes back with that. But what I need the board to do is to make a motion and vote to allocate the 489,000 to be presented to the Permanent Building Committee to be allowed to be spent on the carriage house.
I'll make that motion to add 489.
Second.
Agree?
Did you, but did you vote on it too?
Hmm?
All
Yeah.
Oh, all in favor?
I-
Sorry.
All right.
I'm new with it.
So, no, it's all right. So thank you very much. So, and to let you all know, we also have to cover contingencies. I met with the Clinton Home Foundation. They said they would help us. But what we're hoping is when they come back with the lower bid, with this 489, that we will have the bulk of the money for the contingencies. So if we have to go back and ask the Clinton Home, they've offered, but we don't have to go back for a big amount. And maybe that money can be used for something else
Yeah.
for the building.
Mhm.
I also would like to have a vote to approve that any funds raised in the sale from the items within the carriage house be allocated to the Council on Aging Angels.
Yeah, just a question, because Deb sent me an email this afternoon with her vote. And I just wanna, and I didn't totally understand what she was saying, so bear with me.
Sure.
Where are you, Deb? Yeah. What she said, my vote would be to let the council disperse the money made from the sale of items at the carriage house, not hand over to Angels to decide where it will be used. And then she goes on about another issue that we'll bring up afterwards. Can the council actually, well, council doesn't have any
I know
finances.
that I can't, like, I
And-
don't believe, like, we can do fundraising, so any fundraising has to be done by a separate group, whether it's friends
That's
or
how I
Angels.
answered her. I says, I'm not sure if sale proceeds can go directly to the center, and that's how.
And, yep, and I have, a young woman who, colleague of mine that I have done antique road shows with before. They've come in, they're gonna set up little vignettes, she's gonna take care of all of it, we're gonna do a split. All the money we documented, allocated, will be given to the Angels with the hope that it will be put back into
Right.
the carriage house.
Right.
So,
I think that should be stipulated. The
Oh.
yard sale proceeds
Right.
go to the,
Angels.
no, go to the Angels run the yard sale. But
Well,
when the funds are raised, they give them to the center for the carriage house.
Oh,
yeah,
oh,
well,
okay.
somebody else will be running the yard sale, like, but the Angels will get all the proceeds from it, but
And
you
then
want the
they-
money, any money that comes from sale of items in the carriage house to go back into the
Yes.
carriage house.
Yes.
Okay.
I think that's a fair vote, and I don't see, because I've spoken with a couple of members of the Angels about this, and cataloging, selecting, putting things into vignettes, selling, going back and forth on Facebook Marketplace, meeting people, it's a lot, and you can't ask anyone to volunteer to do that,
Right.
but they are willing to be the ones to hold on to the funds, and I'm sure if the board
Yeah,
make a
so-
suggestion of how and where they're allocated, I don't see why they wouldn't
yeah, so
follow
they'd
that.
have to separate it out in their financials, yeah, okay.
So who are the COA angels?
Well, it's a second group that the Friends, there's a history there, that were not doing their job.
Oh, okay.
We'll call it that. We had a lot of different issues. So the Angels came up and says, hey, we're willing to do fundraising and help you guys out. So that's, and I think the president is Linda McGeehan,
Believe so,
and then we got,
Should know.
Oh, on the angels.
yeah.
all the
Yeah.
Angels, yeah.
How many in the group, do you know?
There's, I think 4 or 5.
I want to
believe.
say 4 at least.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rose Gamache is in it,
Suzanne Jewett,
Jewett.
Maureen Barnes,
Oh, I forgot about more.
Oh, Michelle,
Michelle.
So there's
And
quite a
then
few.
the
Linda.
lady that does a lot of crafting here,
Yeah.
down canvas
Who-
bags and
Who
stuff.
did all the.
Oh, right. It's not Lisa Boudry, right?
No.
Yes,
Is
Lisa
it?
Boudry.
Yeah.
And then,
Oh, what's the other one?
Lillian.
Lillian, that's
I
who I'm
think
trying
there are
to.
about maybe 8 of
Yeah,
them
there's-
now.
And they're good fundraisers.
They just ran the chicken shoot down at.
On Sunday.
Oh, okay.
And they're really good. And they're very good about volunteering to give money back to
Yeah.
the center. Yeah, with the other group, we had, it was like pulling nails.
How many are active in the Friends, do you know?
That I don't know, but,
Okay.
since we're on that topic, yeah.
Just curious.
Yeah,
that's
you
all.
know the history, some of you know
Well,
the
I
history.
really
we've had.
don't, so I'm like,
Uh,
just give a briefing.
That we were, gonna, hey, hands off, demand, they have a lot of money,
The Friends.
yes.
Okay.
And, we were to the point of, hey, demanding, transfer that over, because they're not volunteering any funds towards us. But with the change, with Laura now on board, the, Claire and I were talking, I'm sorry, Claire, use your name in vain. That, maybe it's time that we reach out to them again and say, hey, let's start over, come on,
Okay.
let's see if we can get something going. Because like I said, they do have, I was a treasurer on that at one time before moving over to this board. So I know they have money.
And the last donation they gave us was earmarked for the carriage house. I
Oh,
think they gave us $2,000.
Yeah, there was something, yeah, I would have to look back at
Yeah.
Deb's notes on that.
We do have, they did make a donation, and I believe it was around.
Yeah, I don't know who's on that board, I know.
Christmas.
Sue
So-
Duffy, Krista McDonald, Kim Casasanto.
Okay,
I don't know about
Jackie
Kim.
McGuire,
Jack,
she's their treasurer, she was their treasurer.
yeah, so I don't even know how to reach out to them.
I could probably, I know Kristen enough, I think, and I know Kim Casasanto. I can reach out
And
to
just
them
say,
and just
hey,
ask. I mean, it's a perfect segue. Hey,
yeah, right, a nice meeting, come on in, see the
Yeah.
board, let's see if we can get on the same page.
why not? Doesn't hurt.
No,
Okay,
not at all.
great. Yep. And then we'll have 2 groups that would help.
Which would be fantastic. Plus the Clinton home. I mean,
Right.
it's really a gift. It's
Mhm.
running any sort of department,
Sure.
council, having folks that are out there that specifically raise money for you when you only get a limited budget.
Yeah.
It's
Definitely.
awesome.
Okay.
So we just need the vote.
All right, what do we need to vote on?
I just made the motion that the, not the
Oh, the-
motion, the possible vote.
Proceeds.
The
The
proceeds
proceeds from the sale of the items,
within the
okay,
carriage house.
be,
The motion.
yeah, be remitted to the Angels with the understanding it to be allocated to the carriage house.
Yes.
Yeah, that's how it has to be all spelled out.
Right.
Okay, and we have the motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Do we all agree?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you very much for both
Moving
those
on.
votes. So one more vote. As I'm sorry, we've been very busy here as a staff and super, again, very grateful. Sherry and Christine worked on revising, I sent it out to you guys, the van cancellation and no-show policy. Just because, the van is free, but we have had a couple of, repeat offenders, not there within the window, not showing up, canceling late. And so to have the van drive around empty, it's a free service. We have other seniors that are ready and willing to be involved. So they did a good job on it. I don't know if you got a chance to read. I said I would make copies, but I felt like I was giving you guys copies of everything today, so I didn't want to overwhelm you. If
Well, I do
It's-
have a copy here, and I had a couple of questions, and it's.
if you have the questions, I can write them down. We don't have to vote on it today.
Okay,
I can bring it back to Christine and to Sherry because they would be the ones to have the answers.
right, it's just probably dumb, but pickup location from 15 minutes prior to 15 minutes after.
Mhm.
Okay, 30-minute window. But then it goes on that the van will only wait 5 minutes once it arrives. So I'm having a problem with,
Senior citizen getting ready that quickly?
well, if they have a 9 o'clock appointment,
Yeah,
let's say, and the van shows up 15 minutes early, that it says it can,
Right.
it's only going to sit there for 5 minutes.
Then there's a 10-minute window.
yeah.
To the next one, and then they're losing time. Yeah. All right.
You see,
That's, yeah.
And if it shows up 15 minutes late, they don't get to their appointment.
yeah, so,
Right. They missed their appointment. All right.
yeah,
That's
yeah, it's,
definitely fair.
okay. Oh, yeah, the other question I had was, the canceling
Mhm.
of the trips. I love the 24-hour bit, that was great. But at least 2 hours prior, to their scheduled pickup time. Hypothetically. When do the vans first start going out? Maybe that's-
Pretty much like 8 in the morning.
8 in the morning. So they call and leave a message at this phone number
Right.
saying, hey, I can't be picked up at 8 in the morning.
Right.
But the staff doesn't come until 8:30.
Well, we're here at 8.
Oh,
We're here at 8 o'clock.
are they gonna be looking at those messages? Yeah, it's
It's
that early morning
Yeah,
messages,
early
I'm
morning.
thinking. That might be a problem.
I will ask.
I
because-
like the 24-hour
Yeah.
Yeah.
and just leave it as
Right.
that.
Right.
Right.
All right. I will pose.
What, I have a problem with that. What if
Okay.
you have all the attentions of getting to your appointment, but you get sick in the middle of the night? I mean, that's, you know.
Yeah, I think this is.
Yeah, that's
It's
just-
funny. It's
yeah.
I think sometimes policies are created because of a series of events. So I don't think it's our like people who are getting sick. It's more the people who are canceling,
not
like
showing up.
just not showing up
Okay.
and
Mhm.
canceling, like making an appointment, and then it's like they cancel every Monday. They cancel their
I mean, there's going to be
Thursday 2 o'clock
exceptions to
ride.
the
You know
rule.
what I
Yeah.
mean?
Right.
But I wrote that down as far as like the what ifs.
So, well, if that was the case, couldn't they just call and leave a message?
Well, that's,
Here,
it says here.
Comes in first. Okay.
First thing in the
All right.
morning. And the thing is, it's not, I mean, Christine is so incredible with putting all this together every day and keeping track of stuff. So she knows who is
Mhm.
sick. She knows who
Right.
is, oh, sorry again. So this is just more because we really don't want the vans driving around empty.
Oh,
If we
not.
turn somebody away.
so
you know
now
what I
the
mean?
van users, will they all get a copy of this?
Yep.
Okay.
And was there a policy in place before this one?
There was
Okay.
one, but they sort of put some more meat on it. So there was like after 3 times you're supposed to get a letter, but I don't really think it was ever enforced. And so now we're just trying to not really enforce it, but just like, hey, just remember, and it's sort of gentle reminders, almost like a hug. So,
Great.
all right,
So we'll vote on that at the next meeting?
yes,
Yeah.
and that's fine. Thank you for taking the time to review that. Much appreciated. And then The volunteer appreciation lunch is on June 13th, which is a Friday. And we would like to request to close the senior center at 12 so that staff can be at this lunch and help Sherry put it together and pull it off.
So moved.
All right, done. And then also the day after Thanksgiving, normally
Yeah, we
it's
get the,
not off. We were hoping that we would use a personal day, a vacation day, and ask if we could have it off so we could spend time with our families.
yeah, we created that I thought last
Yeah.
year,
Oh, okay.
that at least the day after Thanksgiving.
All right,
That would be a given, but you had to use your
Yeah,
personal
it's-
day.
right.
Now, this is a new one with the day after Christmas.
Well, I think because this year the day after Christmas
It's
is,
probably a
I
Friday.
think, a Friday. I want
Yeah,
to say that's why we
yeah.
talked about it. But I did look it up, and it does seem like at least last year, because the day after Christmas, I want to say was a Tuesday, so there was a lot of people here. So it
Yeah.
might be that we might want to be open because if people weren't able to do something, we want to be open. But I think I might give, if we have like a light day of activities, if you're okay with it, if I could offer staff if they wanted to take the day off or split the day or do a half day, or maybe we could look at it. if
Do a skeleton crew.
a skeleton crew,
For
so
the
that
Christmas
people are
one.
away, people who have children,
Yeah.
young kids that want to be just spending the time with them, or
Mm-hmm.
families in. If we could offer that,
Yeah. I would go with a skeleton
a
crew.
skeleton crew. All right, that I think will.
Because you think, well, you weren't here, so.
No.
What was the other
I
year?
think last year, I believe that Friday after Thanksgiving, we were open. We
No,
just-
Friday after Thanksgiving, we were closed. We
Okay,
voted on that's
Friday after
a forever
Christmas this
thing.
year.
all right.
Oh, good,
Turkey's
all right,
Turkey's
Exactly,
the turkey's too.
I would have said the opposite, but
but it was the Christmas.
It was Christmas and I think that they were open.
Yeah, because Christmas
Yes,
is
that's
on a
it.
Thursday and the day
Correct.
after Christmas is a Friday. So, the thing is, if there are seniors that didn't spend any time with anyone for Christmas,
Yeah.
maybe what we could do is do a half day Christmas Eve, or do half the staff that anyone who's coming in the day after Christmas has a half day Christmas Eve, and
I
almost
like
like
that.
Yeah.
split the
I
difference.
like that,
That's
yeah.
very
Alright.
good.
Yep.
All right, half day
Mhm.
Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
Skeleton day after, and then that gives everyone an opportunity to use their time, but at least the center's open, so
Mhm.
mhm.
our seniors have a place to go and we can still have something happening here. I do have, and I apologize, it's just my first meeting with you guys and so much has gone on, but I will go through it quickly. It seems like a long list, but I've talked about a lot of the things, and so if you'll just
Thank you.
bear with me for a moment to let you guys know a lot of the things that have been happening here since I began on the 12th. I am continuing to collect applications for the Veterans Flag Program that Deb started. I also shared the information with Veteran Services, so Brendan Bailey has been sharing it with the veterans that come up to his office and talking it up, so that is good. We did the 2 votes for the carriage house, and I've been working with Sherry on that, and it's been great. Thank you for your input on the transportation policy. Talked about the carriage house, the budget. Technology, we are getting a printer for the front desk. Dave, our technology gentleman, had one that he's gonna let us have, so Donna can print from the front desk, or if seniors need something printed now, we have that
Nice.
capability right out front. Also, we need to update our Microsoft software, so Dave's looking into the licenses and what we need. So we will take care of Brandy and Donna as they need to get up to date. Wanted to let you know that we've been posting a lot on Facebook. We've been doing Facebook Lives. We created an Instagram account this morning, Clinton Council on Aging. And the last month since I've been here, we have had 37,000 views on the Clinton Council on Aging page. And
Oh, wow.
yesterday we had MedMinder in, and Tricia, the programs director, went live. And so the person from MedMinder talked about the service. We had a couple of seniors here who were fine with being taped. And I think we're up to like 1,400 views on that. So we're trying to find different ways to capture
That's
our
excellent.
seniors,
Mm-hmm.
you know, children of seniors, grandchildren of seniors, just to sort of capture, grab them in. Maybe they'll ask a question, maybe they'll join the page, maybe they'll come down, or we might get, you know, other different ideas for programming. So we've been trying to do a lot with social media. We are going to be working with the Clinton High School Excel Club for them to help us do some things around the house and also help develop some programs. The Clinton Home Foundation, we have some upcoming donations coming in from them. They haven't come in yet, but they have promised that they would allocate $7,000 for Grady's groceries, $7,000 for the van, the SUV, and then $10,000 for the actual home. So we're always so grateful for their generosity. We had the first meeting of Growing Places. We had about 25 people here, with more wanting to come back and utilize the boxes. We had to do a repair on the elevator, replace something. That was, I think, like my 4th day in. Coming back and seeing fire trucks, I'm like, what has happened? But they were great, and also we're starting to repair the wall. Some pieces are coming out, but working with facilities, they're taking care of it for us, and they've been great. With staff, we have been having staff meetings. All staff is reaching out to other council on agings to see what they're doing. I have staff attending programming at other council on agings to see if it's worth it to bring back here, and also sort of sharing resources and like presenter fees so that we can kind of share the wealth. And I think it also helps build relationships, not only, you know, for the seniors, but also for the staff. The more people that we know in this area, in the senior community, the more we can reach out and help and bring more, I think, significant programs to the center. Also, we've been using, it's this little thing on my back. I'm not taping you guys now. It's an AI device.
This is
It's called
quite
Claude. And what I can do during the staff meeting, I hit it and it creates a summary of everything that was discussed, with even action items at the bottom, so that every member of the staff can actually sit and listen to what has gone on in the staff meeting. So we're going to use this device as we cross train with each other's positions. So if suddenly I'm out for 3 weeks, anyone on the staff, because I will go through what I do, how I do the warrant, how I prepare certain things. Sherry will go through the newsletter. Deb can go through how she sets up the AARP tax preparation. And so we all can listen, and then it just puts together this summary, and then I can send it to each.
Fantastic, isn't it?
I couldn't work yet.
My husband brought this up. I did not find this on my own. He did it for Dungeons and Dragons. He'll be sorry, Dave. He did it for Dungeons and Dragons because he was just starting, so to learn everything. So and I'm like, oh, how great would that be? Because then we can all actually listen, and no one's sort of being pulled away or distracted by writing notes. And then you have the summary, so the person whose job it actually is gets the summary, and they can go through and tweak. But then we have a binder of how to do each other's jobs. And it just, I think, one gives an appreciation to what each contributes to the team, but also it's not when somebody's out, like, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? We've already taken care of it. So that, we're going to start that next week, and we're excited about that. The newsletter, we're going to have, Sherry's done a little bit of research. We're going to have a new look to the calendar next month for May, and super excited she found that. We're also going to look into translating the newsletter.
Excellent.
I have Nancy Munoz, who runs the Clinton Public Outreach Center, and I met with her, and also myself and Deb, at least we're the first two, because her and I met with Nancy, are going to be part of their multicultural night to just sort of expand the reach of the Clinton Senior Center to more of our community.
I think that's an excellent idea.
And with that in mind, it's in the final stages, but we revised sort of the brochure,
Yep.
the trifold, and Nancy said that she would translate this into
Sweet.
Spanish and help us out with getting it translated into Portuguese. So we're adding a little bit of finishing touches, but this sort of, they're bringing this back, sort of came to life when we had the Irish baking contest, because people were asking, do you have anything, you know, asking about history of the house, and was like, oh, you know what? We should have something right at the front desk that we can hand people, and having it in multiple languages again will help address the needs of our entire population here in Clinton. I'm going to be working with the Historical Society. They're going to have their June 11th meeting here. We're going to see if we can get some folks that have some history about the house, whether it's ghost stories or fun stories, and just kind of open up the house and let folks see what's here. I mean, it's a beautiful home. There's so much history, so many nooks and crannies, and we'll see if the public's curious, but it's a way for us to have sort of a joint venture with the Historical Society. As well, I'm going to be collaborating, myself and my staff, with Mark McMinn. We're going to put together some sort of Clinton Council on Aging like TV show, create a series of videos that we can put on YouTube under the Clinton cable TV section of YouTube. So when people go in and are looking for select board meetings, finance meetings, here's a blurb, sort of a video, seeing a real person talking about the Clinton Council on Aging, getting some, feedback, some stories, and then having each of the different sort of departments talk about like what outreach does, what transportation does, how you can volunteer, the tax rebate program. And it's not just for our seniors watching it, but our sort of
No, the caregivers.
our citizens within the caregivers of the seniors, the 40-year-olds, the 50-year-olds, grandchildren, because social media, YouTube, that's where they go to find their information. So it's just, again, another way to try and advertise what we do up here. And this is a beautiful facility with a staff that does so much work to bring programming and outreach and meals and just transportation, everything. So I more I can get it out there, and Mark is going to help us along with that. And it was his suggestion, so we think it's a really
Good
good
idea. Very good.
Mark works. We've gotten a couple of grants from the Cultural Council, one for art classes and one for the JFK Museum. So that information has been passed on to our program director. We have a new art teacher, Sharon Marini, starting. I talked about the baking contest. Myself and Deb Weatherby our applications are into the state to both become notary publics, so we will have that service back up here.
I thought we had some,
Deb,
and I thought there was somebody else too, no?
I know Kelly Parker.
Huh?
Melissa.
Oh, Melissa was the
Yeah.
other one.
So Kelly
Gotcha.
Parker down at the central office has been doing that work for us. She's been running our quarries for us, so she's been fabulous. So we have to thank the Clinton Public Schools for that help. We put out a suggestion box, so Donna at the front desk has been responsible for pulling them out, categorizing them. She presents them at staff meetings, and we talk about them, and we'll put a couple of things into place. So it's a way, again, for our seniors to sort of offer feedback without just to offer feedback and have their voice be heard. I talked about the meals and the storage. We've had a couple of great veterans breakfasts that have been really well attended with help from Corcoran House, and Bill, he makes the best French toast. I should have written it down. I'm sorry, Bill. The formula grant, that's the money that we get each year. For the seniors, we get about $15 per senior. We have about 3,400 to 3,700 seniors that were projected for 2025. So that annual report has been taken care of and submitted. Next week, I'm signed up for two the Mass Council on Aging, 2 grant writing seminars. One is tips and tricks, and another one is a listing of grants, and they'll help us start applying. So that's a nice free thing. Outreach, Deb's been doing a great job with outreach. We had 186 people come through for tax season. We talked about the board, the basement storage. We're trying to get the cameras back on the front desk, and on my machine, they're downstairs. We had sort of a little hit and run here. That was my 3rd day. So we had the fire trucks, we had the elevator, we had a hit and run. Everyone was fine. But we realized that the cameras weren't on the front desk. So since the front desk is here as a measure of security,
Yeah.
Donna needs to have the cameras on her front desk. So we're working with Paul, and he is helping us out with that. I had a meeting with the book group not the book group, with the library Bigelow, and they are gonna supply the books for book group going forward, so if people wanna buy them, they can, but if not, the library will go, the CW Mars system, they can get books from other libraries, so now we can maybe expand the group a little bit bigger.
Tricia called everybody that belonged to the book club and explained it to them.
Yeah, so
It was a nice touch.
yeah, I think that's great. I think it's awesome. And then we'll get the book bike up here over the summer, and they'll bring books up here, and we're gonna do sort of a joint presentation on Alzheimer's with them at some point. Deb is working with Marie to set up the date. Do the one pager. On Tuesdays over the summer, I'm going to have the center open at night and working with Brandy to possibly do like a bag lunch that you can order, because the summer concert series, I think there are 10 weeks of summer concerts. You know, I helped Mackenzie put them together. It's a great series, but I want to make sure that everyone who wants to go, so now if our senior citizens want to come, they can park up here, they can sit on the porch, they can spread out on the lawn. And, I ran it by Mackenzie, just fellow departments, you want to be respectful. And she thought it was a great idea. So it's just another way, again, to have the center open at night, and then the bathroom's right here. So another way to sort of enjoy the beautiful park and at night. We are working with Emotion Graphics on maybe some swag for the staff when we do presentations, or we go visit other council on agings, or even here. It'd be nice to have a little zip up or a polo for special days, and also possibly to get some shirts for our volunteers. We have a lot of volunteers that run a lot of programs, and it'd be nice, I think, to
I
offer.
might actually be able to sell them at some point.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
so, and this is,
money can carry guys.
You're right.
That's right.
Ron Sonya already has
Yeah.
developed a logo.
Yes.
So we'll use that,
Mhm.
wide break what is already fixed, and we will do that. Then you did the warrant and the book group. So thank you very much for listening to my long spiel. It will not be this long in coming meetings, but it's been an exciting 6 weeks of starting and figuring things out and meeting people and working with the staff, and the staff has been pretty great. So
Excellent.
Do
Excellent.
you have someone in place for the Portuguese language?
Nancy was gonna find someone, but if you know someone, Lisa,
My next door neighbor, I
we would.
talk with her and
Yeah,
say she'd be
definitely.
interested in and it would just be translating this.
Yes,
Maybe there's other issues.
I think what we want to try and do is have that for that night, and then if we can, because we have the newsletter, and then we send out like a constant contact. So we're trying to find a way if we can quickly translate that, or I want to talk with Nancy and even your neighbor about ways that we can transcribe information so it can be
But she's
used by
brilliant.
May.
I'm just gonna take a screenshot of this so she can figure it out.
Money situation. Just got this in.
This is what she's already covered. Yeah, that was on the carriage house and everything.
Testimony.
What Claire's asking is about how the original amount for the carriage house was 425,000.
Yeah.
The warrant, but it was actually 360. But we don't know.
We're not sure. Deb is great with numbers. I mean, so somehow some information just must have gotten lost in the shuffle,
Yeah.
but we were able to find, the 80,000 that she knew was coming. And
The ARPA funds of the 57.
Right.
Everything is tallying out.
tallying up, and now we have an amount that we can actually use. And when we're talking to the architects, now it goes to the permanent building committee, they vote on it, and then believe it's the architects and the permitting process. And because a lot has been sort of, the first bid was sort of, shoot at the stars, right?
Yeah, right,
Like, what's your
right.
dream
800
building?
odd thousand.
Yeah.
Which is wonderful. And but the carriage house anyways is just such a beautiful building with so much character. There's really not a lot you have to do to it, but you want to make sure that it's weatherproof,
Right.
that the floors are steady, that the
Has heat.
access ways in, that there's two ways to get in and out, that the window's open, that there's heating, there's cooling, so it can be used year round.
Yep.
So that will all take place, and that's all part of the scope.
So,
It's been a long time coming.
yeah,
Yes.
does anybody, new business or anything that you wanna bring up? No? Then I'm gonna make a motion that we adjourn.
I'll second.
Hopefully five. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Very,
Very good report.